All right, folks, I'm going to be completely honest with you on this one. I have never liked to bash Democrats online. I have never liked to sit and bash the Democratic Party because, in my mind, it's always been too easy. Everybody does it. Everybody on both sides of the aisle and all points in between loves to gang up on Democrats and bash them and hold them to account for everything that they say or do. Meanwhile, they'll turn a blind eye to all the stuff and they will normalize and sane wash all the crazy crap that MAGA does. So the reason why that I've not spent a whole lot of time bashing the left is because I feel like trying to get the left together to get them inspired to vote in an election is like trying to herd cats with a water hose. I feel like it's damn near impossible to get us all in a row and get us all lined up and realizing just how high the stakes are. So I don't spend a whole lot of time making videos like that because I don't want someone to lose faith in our side. And I don't want someone to do something stupid like write in Jill Stein or stay home on election day. And I'll never understand someone that's like, I got to vote my conscience, so I'm going to stay home. That's one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard in my life. So I've never wanted to cause anyone to lose focus because I truly feel like that the MAGA radical right is truly the greatest threat to everything that our founding fathers or our country ever stood for or was about. And so I always try to keep focused and I try my best to encourage people to realize, hey, look, the Democratic Party has its flaws. It's got plenty of work to do on itself, but over here is the greater threat. So could we all please try to stay focused? But there's no way in the world that I could let this one slide and not talk about these 10 Democrats. This conversation here couldn't just be one that me and my buddy had on a road trip. This is one that I feel like we really need to talk about because Al Green stood up during Trump's speech and Mike Johnson had him removed. After all the times that we saw Marjorie Taylor Greene go dressed up in her WWE costume every time she went, all the heckling that her and Boebert did, they were never barred. They were never kicked out. And had they been barred or kicked out, someone would have immediately said, oh, it's a weaponization of government. They're being so unfair. They're patriots. They're hostages. That's what we'd have had to live through. So we watched Al Green get let out of there. I said every Democrat should have got up and walked out with him. Then he was censured. And 10 Democrats voted in favor of that. And those 10 Democrats deserve to be called out for it. So we're going to read this article, and I'm going to explain to you why that I feel the way that I feel about this one. And you're free to disagree with me. I believe that if we could all understand, you know what? Those of us on the left have the better and actually the more popular ideas. We just have to figure out how to message it better to people. If we can agree to disagree on certain things, fine. But I'm going to tell you exactly why that I totally disagree with these 10 people for what they did. So I'm going to read this article here from Midas News. Let's actually bring it up this way. This is from Midas News. This was written by Aaron Parnas. Congressman Al Green was censured, and 10 Democrats joined Republicans to vote for that. So today, the House of Representatives voted to censure Representative Al Green, a top Democrat from Texas, following his disruption of President Donald Trump's recent address to a joint session of Congress. The censure motion was passed with a vote of 224 to 198, with 10 Democrats joining Republicans in favor of the reprimand. The incident occurred during Donald Trump's speech on Tuesday night when Representative Green stood and shouted, "You have no mandate," while shaking his cane at the president. Despite repeated calls for order from the House Speaker Mike Johnson, Green continued his protest, leading to his removal from the chamber by the House Sergeant of Arms. Following the disruption, Republicans moved swiftly to introduce a censure resolution. Democrats attempted to table the resolution but was unsuccessful, leading to the final vote today. As a result of today's vote, Green has become the first member to be censored for heckling during a presidential address. The 10 Democrats who voted for this are as follows. Here they are. Amy Barra, Ed Case, Jim Costa, Lauren Gillen, Jim Hines, Christy Houlihan, Marcy Kaptur, Jared Moskowitz, Marie Perez, and Tom Susie. Now, I've done entire videos that on Jared Moskowitz when he said something that I thought was great. And I've said, hey, he nailed it and knocked it out of the park. But he completely missed the mark on that one. The 10 Democrats that voted for that should truly be ashamed of themselves because Al Green now is the first person to be removed like that. When we saw Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert heckled the living hell out of Joe Biden, and it was perfectly okay, and everybody just sat there and took it. But when it was Al Green, they had him removed. What's the difference between Al Green and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert? I think we can all see, because it strikes the same nerve with me when I see this. I'm immediately reminded of what happened here in Tennessee when we had young black men like Justin Jones and Justin Pearson expelled here in Tennessee. So we've been down this road before. But what I would say to the 10 Democrats out there that voted for this, and to everyone who thought Al Green was out of line, the Republican Party does not give a fuck about you. I just got to be brutally honest. They do not. They consider us to be the enemy from within. They have said so. They've made it clear. They have pardoned violent criminals. They want to pardon the man who murdered George Floyd. That is the type of people that we are dealing with. And just because you went along with this vote does not mean you earned one shred of respect from any of them. It reminds me of a story back years ago. Me and a dear friend of mine was sitting together, and at the time I was trying to get in on this music show. There was a music show that I really wanted to be a part of, but the guy that was putting on the show was somebody who just flat out didn't like my family. That's just the truth. And my friend just gave me that cold hard reality check. He's like, buddy, he's like, I really hate to tell you this. He said, it ain't got nothing to do with your music. It ain't got nothing to do with whether your songs are good enough or not. That's not what this is. He's like, they don't give a fuck about you. He said, they do not give a fuck about you. And I sat there and I was like, yeah, but I really want to get on the show. He said, it don't matter how much you want to get on it. You can send them all the songs in the world. You can go audition till you're blue in the face. You're never going to get in. He said, they don't like you and they don't like me. And he said, it's small town bullshit. He said, it flat out is. He said, they don't like us because of our last names. He said, that's all it boils down to. He said, and think about it. Do you like them? Do you really like that family? And I said, well, not necessarily. He said, okay. He said, would you want them coming into our establishment? Really? I was like, well, probably not. He's like, there you go. He said, they don't like you. They don't care about you. Stop trying to kiss their ass. Stop trying to suck up to them. I feel like everybody needs my old friend and his style of just straightforward reality check. And he used to give them to me all the time. He was one of my best friends because he would tell me the truth. He was the guy that would tell you that you had the booger in your nose. You know, he was the guy that would tell you that your fly was open. He was always the one that came with the reality check of like, hey, why are you getting all bent out of shape about this? It's never going to work. You're beating yourself up over nothing. You're sitting there worrying and grieving about something that's never going to go your way. So just try something else. I miss that old man. I miss that friend. And I feel like that I just will take what I learned from him and pass it on to these 10 Democrats. Buddy, no matter what you do, all you did was went against one of your own for speaking out. You should have spoke up and echoed his sentiments, because they don't care about him and they don't care about you, and you didn't impress them. I'm so sick of this idea that, oh, we just got to have a beer with them. I'm going to do an entire video talking about Newsom sitting down with Charlie Kirk. I'm just trying to do it. I'm trying to figure out how to do it without totally roasting Gavin Newsom on that one. But we can't continue to think that these people are just going to think, oh, yeah, we love them now. They're never going to like us. They consider us the enemy from within. Stop trying to kiss their ass. It's never going to work. We're never going to have that moment of reconciliation. I know that sounds terrible. People's probably like, Brando, how could you say that? You can't have it with people like that. You can't shake hands with a clenched fist. They've got both fists clenched at us. They hate everything about us. They won't listen to any voice of reason that we try to throw in their way. They won't listen to facts, evidence, truth, anything. So there's no sitting here and, oh, well, we're going to try to reach across the aisle here and we'll throw one of our own under the bus to show them. No. It's not going to work that way. It's just not. I'm all for compromise. I'm all for working together, but we're dealing with people who flat refuse. We're dealing with a president who built a cabinet full of people who he knew would flat refuse to do anything, and who he knew would take a blowtorch and destroy everything. That's who's in power now. Going along with them or sitting down with them on a podcast is not going to win you one vote. So I know there's a lot of people who may completely disagree with me on this one, but I'm just going to tell you how I look at it. I put my thoughts out into the world, and my channel is pretty much a stream of consciousness. I'm just sitting here telling you how I feel about a certain subject on a certain day. And over time, if different evidence and different facts and different things surface and comes out in a story, you'll hear me from time to time go, yeah, I used to say that. I used to say the kids will save us, but now I realize a lot of kids grow up to be assholes, so I don't say that anymore. So as we roll with this, we're going to grow and we're going to learn. And I may go back and say, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong on that one. I've done it before. I've removed videos where I got facts wrong and said, well, sorry, I'm taking that down because that wasn't true. So I believe in doing better. I believe in compromising. I believe in working together, but I do not believe in working alongside people who do not care about us, because no matter what we do, just please remember I said this. We are never going to impress Donald Trump. We're never going to impress Charlie Kirk. We're never going to impress any of his bro podcasters. They're not going to be impressed by us. It's just not going to happen. They've already dubbed us the enemy from within, and they mean it.